up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C, and welcome to another podcast of the Tasha C Show. Shout out to my YouTube, my podcast fam, hugs and loves for all the support and positivity vibes, recovery needed, safety positive vibes, bliss miracles, breakthrough stuff, and hugs and loves and safety, recovery, positive vibes for people for space. I appreciate all the support. This is another episode of our Kings and Queens Next Door. This is for Friday, April 24th, 2020. And it is 2:30 a.m. in the morning. If y'all listen to my podcast consistently and are watching through YouTube as a part of my YouTube fam, y'all can always be part of both my podcast and YouTube fam. My YouTube channel name is tashactv. But anyway, y'all, now, after like several weeks, I finally, at least about something weeks, I stayed up all night, and then I would get my sleep in the morning, wake up sometimes 1, 2, 3. Make a long story short, last night I probably went to bed around 12 or 1 something, and I've been up ever since like 9 something. I'm still up. I'm slowly getting sleepy, but it's like, and I haven't had no coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker anyway. The only thing, the most you give me coffee is like, if I do have it, it's like, a cappuccino, frappuccino, like a nice sweetened drink, something like that, with coffee in it. Other than that, I didn't have like no Red Bull or nothing like that, whatever. Just regular stuff. So, interesting enough, I'm starting young, but I'm surprised I didn't go to sleep. But I purposely stayed up through all the whole day so that way I would have nights so I wouldn't be sleeping on. So hopefully at least I can go to bed a little bit after I do this. Okay, so again, this is going to be another day when I'm just talking about one particular person, instead of, this is a person this time, not a particular event or anything. And it's actually a person that was mentioned actually a couple times where I think it was his week before last, of people that were connected with each other. So, from BigRV.com, we're going to talk about Calloway. Now, honestly, y'all, I didn't know about Calloway or know about him too. If y'all remember Janet Jackson's It's Alright video, and then I know about like one of the most popular songs is like Heidi, Idaho, he, and that's where I kind of remember him from. Now, he was a singer. Oh, this time they at least put the date on here. Sometimes they don't put like what the person did or was known for. But he was born in 1907 and passed away in 1994. So originally, this was uploaded on April the 2nd, 2014. It was updated June 28th, 2019. Singer Calloway became star with his performances at the Cotton Club in his song Minnie the Moocher in 1931. He also appeared on stage and in the films. You know what? I've been hearing Cotton Club so much, y'all. Before I get into reading this, I probably should Google and see information about this Cotton Club. Because if it isn't a lot of people I've been reading about, they've been like, have already passed away. But some of the people recently have either been a part of the Harlem Renaissance, for example, or have been a part, which Cotton Club probably was around the time as the Harlem Renaissance. But I'm like, I might as well just go ahead and find this Cotton Club or information. Hopefully y'all I can talk about it in the future. Who was Calloway? Singer bandleader Calloway was born in Rochester, New York, 1907. He learned the art of scat singing before landing a regular gig at Harlem's famous Cotton Club. Following the enormous success of his song Minnie the Moocher in 1931, Calloway became one of the most popular entertainers in the 1930s and 40s. He appeared on stage in films before his death in 1994 at the age of 86 in Hudson, Delaware. Okay, Minnie the Moocher. In 1930, Calloway got a gig at Harlem's famed Cotton Club. Soon, as the band leader of Calloway in his orchestra, he became a regular performer at the popular night spot. Calloway hit the big time with Minnie the Moocher in 1931 at a number one song that sold more than 1 million copies. The two famous for the cause of response Heidi Ho chorus improvised when he couldn't recall lyrics. became Calloway center phrase for the rest of his career. Oh, Cab Calloway songs and films appearances. With other hits including Moonglow 1934, The Jumping Job 1939, and Blues in the Night 1941, as well as appearances on radio. Calloway was one of the most successful performers of the era. During the 1930s and 1940s, he appeared in such films as The Big Broadcast 1932, The Singing Kid 1936, and Stormy Weather 1943. In addition to music, Calloway influenced the public with books such as 1944's The New Cab Calloway Hepster's Dictionary, Language of Jive, which is often definitions of terms like in the groove and suit. Calloway and his orchestra had successful tours in Canada, Europe, and across the United States, traveling private train cars when they visited the South in order to escape some of the hardships of segregation. With an enticing voice and energetic on-stage moves and dapper white tuxedos, Calloway was the star attraction. However, the group's musical talent was just as impressive, partly because the salaries Calloway offered were second only to Duke Ellington's. The standout musicians Calloway performed with include saxophonist Chu Berry, trumpeter Dizzy Gibson, which I both talked about Duke Ellington and Dizzy Gibson before, and drummer Cozy Cole. Porgy Best to the Blues Brothers. Oh yeah, I remember he had like a main appearance in the Blues Brothers. I don't know if it was both films or one of them. In 1948, as the public had stopped flocking to big bands, Calloway switched to working with a six-member group. Beginning in 1952, he spent 2 years in the cast of the revival of the musical Porgy and Bess. You know, y'all, this is like the third time I have read about Porgy. That shows just how much popular and how much is a step in the arts and in films and I guess in musicals, and in print. Because this show has appeared a lot. Anyway, let me continue. In that show, he portrayed Sporting in Life, a character Calloway himself had reportedly inspired George Jurgen to create. Calloway took other onstage roles over the years, including the male lead in 1967 production of Hello, Dolly, which all black cast featured Pearl Bailey. I'm surprised she's not highlighted right there. Calloway introduced himself. What I mean highlighted is, y'all, is that if y'all on bigger.com and you're able to read these, say articles on people, maybe topics as well as events as well, you usually, people who are quote, quote, famous, they have a highlight on them. But, like, they had a highlight on this Joe Grinsring. I don't know who, honestly, that is, personally. But, I never heard about this name until I just read this. I don't want to say personally, like, just because I haven't met Calloway or these people at all. But, Duke Ellington and Dizzy Gibson, both legs were highlighted, but they didn't have the Chu Berry, the saxophonist, or the drummer Cozy Cole. So in Pearl Bailey, I heard of Pearl Bailey before, so I'm surprised that she's not highlighted. Maybe I'll search. Hopefully, I can remember to search her later on. Anyways, let me continue. Calloway introduced himself to new fans by appearing on Sesame Street. Now, I didn't know he was on Sesame Street. And in Janet Jackson's 1990s music video for All Right, and shared his life in the autobiography of Minnie Moocher and Me in 1976. He also made more big screen appearances, most notably in the 1980 movie The Blues Brothers. During the film, Calloway put his trademark white tie and tails on and performed Minnie Moocher once again. Early life. Born Cabell Calloway III on December 25th, 1907 in Rochester, New York, Cab Calloway's charm and varsity helped him become a noted singer and band leader. He grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, where he first started singing and where his long life of visiting racetracks took hold. A move to Chicago, Illinois saw Calloway begin to study law at Cranes College, now Malcolm X College. But his focus always remained on music. While performing at Chicago Sunset Club, Calloway met Louis Armstrong. Okay, again, in this particular, I could have sworn another one I read that sorry, y'all, of course, jumping out the sentence and going a little tangent again. Actually, I could have sworn in another article that Louis Armstrong's name was highlighted, but it's not in this one. Okay, let's go back. Let me just rephrase the sentence because y'all, I just cut off since to start talking. While performing at Chicago's Sunset Club, Calloway met Louis Armstrong, who tutored him into the art of scat singing, using sensical sounds to improvise melodies. Now, you know, y'all, I gotta learn if I'm gonna talk either before the sentence or after the sentence. No, that's the thing I gotta work on. In 1928, Calloway took over the leadership of his own band, the Alabamians. Ready for the next step in his career, he headed to New York the following year, wife and Chris Calloway. Cab Calloway married Zume Nuffy Calloway in the mid-1950s, and together made their home in Greensboro, New York. The couple had one daughter, Chris Calloway, who later performed with her father and became a respected jazz singer and dancer. Oh, okay. Aw. Sorry, y'all, because I'm about to read it. Chris died in August 2008 after a long battle with breast cancer a couple months later. Nuffy died in a nursing home in Delaware at the age of 93. Aww. Legacy. In 1993, Bill Clinton presented Calloway with the National Medal of the Arts. Calloway's later years were spent in White Plains, New York, until he had a stroke in 1994. He moved to a nursing home in Hoxton, Delaware, where he died on November 18, 1994, at the age of 86. Oh. Well, that was it, y'all. I don't want to also be negative, but just to give because we know we're dealing with still with these issues with Cray Rona. If y'all heard, he was popular rapper artist rapping in the hip hop field. I didn't listen to his, but I heard of Fred the Godson. He passed away, and he was only in his 30 years young. Passed away, I think, of the age of 35. Please forgive me if I'm not correct. From Miss Cray Rona. In this story here, y'all, I just wanted to say real quick, it's sad, and like I said, this is how real. Some people may think this is a hoax or not take it seriously, but it's so easy to catch. That's why, if y'all can, be careful and we stay quarantined as much as we can, and wear masks and so forth. On the news, actually was Wednesday night, and I didn't find out until yesterday. Of course, it's been a long time. She was a girl at the time, and I mean the last time I seen her was several years ago. Not seen her, but it was on Facebook years ago, and so forth. And I know she became a mom and so forth. But when she was younger, she was one of my niece's former, childhood friends and classmates. It was actually three in total. One of them wasn't her classmate, but it was one of her, childhood friend she was around a lot one time. She had three of them that at least I used to help watch too. But the young lady, I don't want to. I mean, she was on the news, so of course she said her name, Caleb. But I've seen her still, but the least, it's it was not that many times that I watched her or she was around her as much as say the other two young ladies, and unfortunately, now her mom actually worked for the hospital, I think, so forth, and actually, if you're hearing unfortunately stories about how some people even who have cray or possibly have it have been turned away when they have it, and she was turned away by 4 hospitals until she got to one, and then unfortunately, her mother, Caleb's mother, had passed away, and this was on the news because she actually worked in the hospital. I don't know what specific hospital she worked at, I forgot, but seen on news as somebody used to watch because I met her mother as well a couple times, of course, and she was a sweet lady, but God rest her soul, she passed away, so she had one child, and her daughter has one child, and she was just on the news talking about it, but I just say this, I mean, she had to be in the park. She was just in the parking lot, I guess where her mother was before she passed away. So that's a little sad. I mean, that's way, way sad, but, I think my last time my niece had ran into, her former child friend was I think 2 years ago, something like that, but she was the one I heard, who recognized, her, last night. So, another night, so that's kind of sad. But just keep them in prayers because that's really sad. Um, but I'm about well, as a basic. I had a couple family members who have dealt with it so far, and they're on it so far. And one of my cousins again, now she has to do just 7 days. She finally came home from the hospital. One of her I mean, she only got one son, but he first had it, but then he came okay, and then she ended up having it. I mean, her son is grown. I mean, but then she you know and she, she was in there, so she just called my mom, basically everything, and yeah, so she oh, okay. I'm going to read the probably about the car code tomorrow because I've got it. It's not a long thing. I may add it with something else. Okay, but anyway, like I said, so anyways, sorry, I was a little sidetracked. But anyways, she is okay. So, yeah. So other than that, y'all, that's it. Hustle. I didn't want to like bring no negative news, but it's like just stay safe, y'all. Hugs and positive vibes. I will see y'all in the next one. Hugs and loves. And I'm finally going to take my tail to bed, or at least get in the process, and hopefully, I'm not off track and be back on that, that night out stuff completely. All right, take care. Let's see y'all in the next one. Okay.